All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the iShine podcast. I am your host, Angela A. Love Lewis. I'm so excited, y'all, because I got the opportunity to spend not 1 but 2 days with this amazing, beautiful lady to my right in the screen. So I am just excited because, listen, I know that y'all are in for a treat. So if you don't know the good Dr. Pamela Brown, then I'm telling you that this is your opportunity to make sure that you get in where you fit in, because it's not going to get any better than this. What she's going to give, what she's going to provide. Let me just let y'all take a moment. Make sure you reach out, share this broadcast to your mama and your grandmother now, your aunties and your cousins, the people that you went to grade school with. Honey, reach out to some of your old teachers, because they're going to need to hear what she's going to talk about today. Get your notebook, get your phone out, make you some good copious notes, because she brings it like that. She gives you all of this good, juicy wisdom and knowledge, y'all. I'm just telling you. This is one that you're going to have for the book. So I want y'all to make sure you get in. Come on in. Say hello as you're coming in. Let us know where you're coming from, because we're excited again for this broadcast of iShine Podcast. So Dr. Pamela Brown, she is, honey, I'm not going to even just give y'all a little tinge, because what I'm going to give y'all is she's going to blow your way. So just to let you know that she is a entrepreneur with 5 businesses, mainly the owner of PHP Consulting Firm, LLC. She is a phenomenal, highly successful trader. She hairstyle, fashionista, anything that you can think of. Wonderful mother, best friend, good friend. I'm talking about, honey, wisdom. Listen, if y'all want to look at the book of Solomon and then come on get the book of Pamela Brown, I'm telling you, it's like right there together. So listen. Look at her laughing. Y'all, I'm telling the truth though, for real. I ain't playing. So Pamela, how are you this evening?
I am absolutely amazing, beautiful. How are you?
Fantastic. Been excited all day long. I talked to some of the ladies that were on the broadcast yesterday, and they're just as excited to hear you again tonight. So I'm just looking forward to the audience being wowed by what you do. And so I see them coming in. Carla's coming back. Tandra Price. Hey, Tandra. Hey, Carla. They coming on. Look, Tandra's. Carla said, hello, Dr. Brown and Dr. Lewis. Yes, y'all know I'm claiming all my doctorate. Thanks to Pamela Brown. I'm claiming it.
Yes, claim that. Speak it. Declare it, decree it, call it in and receive it.
Yes. So, I shared a little bit about who you are, just a teeny bit, because I really want you to let the audience know who you are and what you bring to the table.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here. I really appreciate you, Dr. Lewis, for just creating a space for us to be transparent, to share our stories and our testimonies, with the hope that our purposes shed light onto someone and inspire them to be greater, to do better, to be better in everything that they do. And my story, I had to practice what I preach, so to speak, because my story began with me taking my own advice. And first and foremost, I just want everyone to know that I am human and that I have made mistakes. But my transparency in my story, my goal is to help it, hopefully that it would help inspire someone else. I, I got to a point to where when life started happening, I had to take it by the horns and be strong enough to still endure. My journey started many, many years ago. By profession, I'm a licensed cosmetologist of 20 plus years. I'm an accountant for the past 28 years. I own one of the only year-round full-service accounting firms here in Atlanta, Georgia, that is owned, operated by an African-American woman here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also an amazing mother to 5 amazing children. I have 3 adult sons, and I have a 7 and an 8-year-old at home. Both have autism, so they're on the spectrum. So I was gifted to be the mother of 2 special needs kids, and I take that as a gift. And trust me, I had to grow into that statement that I just made.
Yes,
I had to learn how to parent all over again, and that is a story and a book all by itself, in which I just finished actually.
okay.
I also own a nonprofit organization. I have PHP Marketing Empire, which is focused on wealth building, encouraging others to do proper business formations, trading and investing is that business portfolio. I have a real estate investment firm. I have Airbnb properties that I lease out as well. And I have a beauty spa and a natural skincare line. And I just need people to know, I know they say, that the old cliche is the jack of all trades and the master of none. But I'm going to tell you this. I am the jack of all trades and the master of all trades because I don't start anything and not finish it. And the key is not about just having one, because I don't know one multimillionaire that have one stream of income. As a matter of fact, the average millionaire have at least 7 streams of income. It's not about limiting yourself to have one or maybe 2. It's about having your businesses on autopilot, about having the right people around you to manage those businesses and managing your time properly so that you're not stressed and all over the place. For me, I focused on areas where I already had skills in, that I already have been operating in. And then I included my purpose. Because when I found myself in the stages where I had to learn how to parent all over again, that became part of my purpose. So I mixed my passion with my purpose, and now I'm fulfilling God's will in my life. And so I'm here to encourage anyone that is just looking for a reason why, that they can take a little bit of my story and apply it to something in their life. And my goal is to give them the resources to get to that next step. But the decision starts with them. Be the pioneer, be the first one to start. I have a couple of degrees. So I tell people, don't let the degrees limit you. Don't let them, keep you from achieving your goals at any age. But the degrees is not what made me wealthy. It's having a mindset to just want more. Because I paid over 6 figures to get 2 college degrees. And the day I graduated from college, I was 6 figures in debt with no job. Didn't offer me any guarantee. But I made an investment in myself after personal development helped me improve my mindset, and decided to learn a skill set that cost me about 4 figures a year. And it's 100% tax deductible. That has yielded me, a really nice residual income to the point to where I don't have just a bank account or portfolio. I have a legacy because my children's children don't have to work. I've learned in the past 4.5 years.
Come on, Dr. Pamela Brown. And so I honestly tell y'all that what she just said, and what time is it, 9:18, in this little bit of time period, I can really end the broadcast because she done gave y'all everything you need to know in less than 18 minutes. So we're going to go back a little bit and revisit some things, because you talked about mixing your purpose and your passion to live God's will. And I see Tammy coming in. Hey, Tammy, thank you so much for joining us. I see Wanda's coming in talking about what types of personal development did she invest in. So we're going to get to that. But you said, yes, investing in personal development, being a pioneer if you need to be. And then whatever you do, leaving a legacy. Yes, Tammy, I told y'all, get y'all some pen and paper, or be ready to go back and look at this broadcast, because the gems are being dropped. And I'm going to need y'all to get down there and get it, because this right here is priceless information. And I know yesterday, Tammy Thomas was on, and she was saying that what the beauty is with you, Pamela Brown, is that you're generous with the information. You are well sought after by many people, high level executives, people, from all over the world want you on their platform, and you still say yes to this platform. You said yes to yesterday's platform. And so the beauty is that we can take some of this information and understand that no matter what you've been through, like you said, you're at home, you're dealing with 5 businesses, but the key is to do it with ease, but to surround yourself with people who can help you get your job done. And a lot of times I think when we get into business, we're trying to do it all, that we overwhelm and stress ourselves out and get burnt out to the point where now you feel like you're a failure, when in actuality, you should have just stepped back and seen what your strengths, what your weaknesses are, and then found people who can compensate for that to make your job easier.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's all right.
Describe that. It amazes me, mixing my passion with my purpose. It didn't come easy. I had to get out of my own way, because some of us can't go where we want to be because we're stuck in the mindset of where we used to be, and that limits us. And I had to get out of that mindset myself. I thought maybe I was just meant to just go to school, get good grades, and get a good job. But it's beyond that. And when I give this knowledge willingly or free, please understand it's not free. It's a sacrifice. And I want your listeners and people that hear this tonight and later on to understand that it's not free. Please do not misconstrue of us giving you value with free. Because if you don't invest in you, you won't value it anyway. You won't even apply it or use it the way it's supposed to. So there are many, many platforms that I get paid to give this knowledge. And there are many, many platforms that I speak on and that there's no cost to be on the platform. And it doesn't mean I devalue my worth or my knowledge that I'm sharing at two totally different times, whether it be the time that is paid or time that is free. It just means that we feel like you have to invest in you to take you seriously. And we have to put a ticket, a price on that for people to pay to invest in them. They're the ones that go further than the ones that get on, the free Zooms or the free podcast. They get in, listen, don't take notes. And then it was just encouraging and motivational for that day. And tomorrow they're back to life as usual. But that person that paid, they take notes, they're going into step one because you get more in the sessions that you pay. Because now we're giving you an outline, a blueprint to the success. They say success leave clues, right?
Yes.
It's not a secret to success. It's just getting around the people that's willing to give you the steps, not just tell you how they got there. Because I talked about it on your session yesterday. It's a difference between bragging and a testimony.
Yes.
And so when you go to these sessions and people are just telling you all the success that they've achieved, what they've done, what they bought, what they have, what they're wearing, that's not a testimony. Yes, you've come from nothing to something. And that's big, and this should be celebrated. I am not minimizing that in no way, shape, form, or fashion. But if you're not also helping that audience by telling them step by step how you got there, you're just talking about your accomplishments. And so my goal is when they get to where they pay for a session and I'm combining my purpose and my passion, I'm pouring my heart out to that audience. And I'm telling them exactly what I did step by step. I'm telling them exactly what happened when I was in the valley, how I got to the mountaintop. These are the resources that I use. This is what I plugged into. This was the mentor that I talked to. I paid. When I first got connected with Les Brown sent me and I told him what I wanted to do. And he said, well, Pam, how much do you think you worth? That sat me all the way down. All the way down. I told him what, the book that I wanted to write. And he said, how much are you willing to invest in your vision and your dream? And trust and believe me, it wasn't a couple of $1,000s that I paid to get that mentorship. So when I say I invested in me, I invested well into my personal development. I surround myself with other people that have the clues that I want open up so I can follow the lead or the path to success. Even if it's just starting with a book, I ask them, what books are you reading right now? Those are some places for the person that says, I'm just trying to start, Pam. Where do I start? A book. If you can't go and buy a $10 book, start with YouTube. And just listen to some affirmations, listen to some inspirational quotes, listen to something. Just change something about your daily activity. And the results have to follow. It has to follow. It's a given.
I'm telling you, every time it gets better and better because what you're sharing, I see Tandra made a quote up. She came on and said a transformation doesn't happen until there is a transaction. Exactly. And, being able to invest, a lot of times people want to get the big stuff without even thinking about start with the affirmations. Start with reading a book. Start with, like you said, YouTube. And if you will, share how you go in and really conduct getting that information into your subconscious, because I know that's going to bless someone.
Yeah. Because if you don't see it in your mind, you can't have it in your hand. And it starts with the mindset. We all have goals and dreams. Think about it. When we were little, we all, saw the big houses and the cars, and we'd be like, that's it. That's mine. Me and my siblings played those games, right? We all said we want to be a doctor or we want to be a teacher. We dream when we're children. And then as soon as you get grown and get one bill, you forget all about those dreams. Because see, now you're responsible for taking care of you, not your parents anymore. And you get into survival mode as opposed to going out and achieving whatever your goals and your dreams are. It's out of sight, out of mind. And you got to reconnect with your roots, with your ground, where it started. Like I had to think back when I was little, what did I say I wanted to be? And it's crazy because as adults, we don't dream anymore. And even if we do dream, we let it stay on the pillow. And it's time to really just come out and live in life what you think about in your head. And when your mindset say, I can have it and I can do it, I don't care who you are, what your background is, what your history is, whatever you put your mind to, can't nobody stop you. The key is you got to shift your mindset so that you can put your mind to what you want to do.
Come on and shift your mindset. I'm telling you, the chat, Tammy said, investing in yourself is priceless. People will find a way to achieve what they really want. Yes, that is so true. I'm telling you, they said bullseye. You hit the nail right on the head. It is mindset. But for so many people, I believe yesterday we had kind of brushed across the fact that you got to change your mindset to prepare yourself for greatness. And you know how they say, for every level, there's a new devil. Yes. But for every level, your mindset has to shift to be able to handle the things that come at you on that, wherever step you're on.
Yeah, I agree. And, one thing I talk to my adult sons about, there's always going to be an open door and a closed door, right? Just all throughout life, whether you leave one job, go to another, leave one home, go to another home. It's going to always be an open door and a closed door. But people fear and they do not recognize the adversities that's really changing their thought process that's embedding doubt in them in the hallway. We forget about the hallway between the closed door and the open door. You got to be tough enough to cross the hallway to get over there to the open door. And even though it's really, really narrow, the biggest challenges come in the smallest spaces. And you have to be willing and get to a point that when you're at this opportunity, you got to appreciate this door that's closing to prepare you to make it cross the hallway to get to the door that's open. Because if you're not appreciating this, God is not going to be in that space where you need to be to get over to the other side. He's not going to take you through anything. He's not going to show you there and not see it through. But you got to not doubt yourself. You got to encourage yourself. And you got to be strong enough to say, I can do it by any means necessary. And it's like, that's crazy that we don't talk to ourselves in a positive way anymore. We are our worst critics. Like we'll talk ourselves out of something before we even get started.
Before anybody else. Look, we blaming somebody else and we the main one that have done all the negative talking.
I talked about the conscious and the subconscious, how my subconscious holds my conscience accountable. Yes. That's why I listen to affirmations in my sleep at night, so that my subconscious is always on a positive note. So when my conscious start talking back to me, telling me what I can't do, my subconscious be like, wait a minute, pump your brakes. Let me check you right here at the door. Leave that there because that can't go with us where we're going. Just always be in a space of gratitude and being humble. Always being in that space. Because if you don't appreciate what you have, even if we do dream for the bigger house and the new business and the new job, you don't appreciate the apartment, he ain't going to give you the house. We got to be humble where we are, so that when we get to this point where we're facing adversities, we can't talk ourselves out and say, this was a sign. No, I wasn't supposed to get that house. Or no, I wasn't supposed to get that job, because we got a couple of obstacles here and there. You're in the hallway. Keep on moving.
Keep on
The crazy thing
moving.
is, it's like a big deal, a big problem, but the hallway real small. But you don't look at it that way. Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. I love it. I love it. It makes me think of, I'm a Matrix fan. And so, when they were trying to get over to the other side, they had to go through them little tight little spaces, because the man that had the keys was waiting, and it was a little small little window of opportunity that if you stayed there too long, something could get you. So he was trying to get from one open door to go to the next open door. And you absolutely right. That little small space is where they could have gotten taken out. And you've got to remain positive. You've got to really, because for a lot of us, we do talk ourselves out of stuff. That's that negative self-talk, the self-limiting beliefs, the self-sabotaging behaviors. But at the end of the day, we get caught up and we allow our feelings to get so overwhelming that we start feeding the doubt and not the faith.
Oh, I love that. I think when we start feeding the faith, we understand our boundaries. What we will and won't allow, because now we're trusting God to keep us diligent, to keep us focused, because boundaries are not defined by what you do. They're defined by what you won't do. And I think people get it twisted. Because and think about it, even in relationships, jobs, whatever your skills or your qualifications are, there's still boundaries. And when you hold true to those boundaries, it's not about the things that you will do. It's about the things you're saying under no circumstance will I allow this. Under no circumstance will I do that. And when you have boundaries about what you won't do, you set standards. And when you stick to those standards, people will value you. They will respect you. And respect is a whole lot better than just power. Because it's people with power that don't get respected by anyone. And you want the respect. I tell people, favor will take you places your talents cannot. Get yourself together.
Get yourself together. Amen to that. I love it. I love it. I'm telling you, it's just so, the things that make common sense, but a lot of times they say common sense ain't always common, right? True. So you got to really position yourself. And I know we have talked about vision, and I love when you say you've got to be a walking billboard for vision. Can you shed a little light on that?
I think it started originally when I first started, the career path of being a cosmetologist. I actually was doing hair while I was in college to get my accounting degree. That was my way of providing for myself. And in the midst of doing that, beauty, we have to realize that we are our first business card. The way you present yourself, how you look when you're out in the public. You have to be in a position to where someone is asking you, who does your hair? And that triggers a conversation that would allow you to promote yourself, your business to someone. So at the end of the day, we have always been a walking billboard with how we present ourselves, how we carry ourselves. And you got to implement that even in your business, in your vision, your goals, your dreams. You got to put them at the forefront. They got to always be in front of you. Like Tammy did the vision board event. I tell people, what's the first thing you see when you look in the mirror? And everybody say, well, you see you. I was like, it's not a trick question. It really isn't. But when I get up in the morning and I go in the restroom, the first thing I see on my mirror are a bunch of sticky notes with affirmations of things that I have to say to myself every single day. That's what I see. See, because that's part of being the billboard. I am teaching and coaching others what they can do, but I have to live it. My billboard has to be clear as day, because I can remember plenty of times when I prayed and I'll tell God, maybe my relationship is not where I want it to be, God. So I can't speak in tongues. I don't know if it's you or the devil talking to me. So I'm gonna need you to put it on a billboard. I need you to make it plain as day. Just spell it out to me in English.
Right.
In reality, we need to do that with everything. The billboard is what get everyone's attention. They're
Yes.
like so innovative with these billboards. They're now digital. They're switching up on them and advertising multiple businesses digitally now, not just
Yes.
paper that they used to put on there. So I look at it like this right here. My vision needs to be flashy to me. It needs to grab my attention so that I am living the things that I am wishing and dreaming for. Because if I'm living what I'm visualizing for myself, and I got to realize this is my vision, not everybody else. So be careful who you give your vision to because they can't see it. And if they have something bad to say about your vision, you're telling the wrong person because this is not a conference call. This was a conversation between you and God. You and God. It was not a conference call. It was not a Zoom. So what he tell you, he may not tell somebody else. And if they say they can't see that in you, you're telling it to the wrong person. It's like taking financial advice from somebody that is broke. The same exact thing about your vision. And when you start living out your vision, your physical billboard, meaning you, will inspire somebody to say, what are you doing to get to where you are? Because I must be missing something. But I want to get to where you are. Can you teach me? That's when you know your billboard has great content.
Whew. That's powerful right there, to be your own walking billboard so that you can speak and people can see that you not only talking the talk, but you walking the walk because you're in alignment with the assignment. So oh
Yes.
my gosh, get in
Listen,
alignment with the assignment.
I like that. If your billboard, if you live in your billboard, you can walk in a room and not say a word and be seen. And that's what you want to do. You want to go in a room and be loud as I don't know what without speaking a word. Because everything about your energy, the way you carry yourself, is going to speak for itself.
Come on, that helps somebody right there. It doesn't require you because a lot of times people seek attention and they do things in order for people to be attracted to them. But when you are walking in your purpose, when you are living the life that God has assigned you to, then when you show up, people pay attention. It's like what they say with E.F. Hutton. People pay attention, right? They looking and they already know who's the person that has the respect. Because like you said, it's people who got power, and when they get it the wrong way, they're not respected. But a person who, yes, Tammy said, come on in, you command the room. Absolutely. And yes, I see my girl on here, Chef Diva. She says, being relentless, your presence commands attention. Absolutely.
Exactly. You know, you speak to people with a smile. And the way you address people when no one is watching is a direct reflection of your true character. How you treat people, you know, regardless of what their status is a direct reflection of your character. And people are noticing how you treat other people. And when you walk in a room, a simple greeting, speaking to someone, you have no clue how many people have come up to me afterwards. And they was like, you came up to me and you spoke to me. And I was in a bad place. I almost didn't come today. And I was about to leave when you spoke. It's the simplest little gestures that make you stand out. But I know for me, I'm intentional before I leave my house every day about how I present myself, how I wear my hair, what jewelry I put on, what clothes I wear, how they fit me. I'm making a conscious decision of how I'm presenting myself. So I don't have to say anything when I walk in the room. I can smile and greet and keep walking.
Okay, that's a whole mic drop right there. Because I see somebody say, Tandra says, you never know who is watching you. Somebody said that is being intentional and moving with intention. Absolutely. It takes the presence that you're trying to create for yourself requires you to do more than just haphazardly do things. You've got to be strategic. You've got to be intentional. You've got to understand what it is you're trying to achieve so that you can put things in place so that it falls in line with what you're trying to do. And I love it because when I listen to, just even how you speak and how you put things together, that comes from studying your craft, talking to God, feeding your mind with the things that you need to hear so that when the time comes for you to speak, like you said yesterday, it's not even about, at this point, Dr. Pamela speaking. It's God being able to download things to you because he knows whoever's listening, he knows what they need to hear.
It has to be God. Because I said at the very beginning of this podcast, I'm human, right? I had to get to a point to where I had to learn how to shift from my personal troubles to my professional life instantly. Mm-hmm. Because when you are encouraging and inspiring others, you can't be at a point to where your troubles are noticeable. Mm. And it's been a many times where I've had to shake it off, hold my head up high, clear my throat. It's on you, God, because I can't do it today. And then the energy comes over me and I go up on that stage and I pour out everything that comes to my mind that he says through me to help somebody. And then I leave and walk back off the stage and have to go to a corner, a prayer closet or something, because I'm in disbelief that I really just shocked myself. Because if they only knew what I was dealing with before I walked on that stage. So it is nothing but God that keeps me grounded. I like doing these spaces like this. And I just wish it was more younger women that would get on and take presence in what's going on, because we're losing this generation of young women. But you can just tell how they're carrying themselves in the public on a daily basis. Without even saying my age, I remember times when I was a little girl and we got dressed up, put on our Sunday's best to go to Sears, to go to Woolworth, like to go shopping with Big Mama. We had to get up and get dressed with a dress and the best shoes.
And we did socks and everything.
Go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see what I see now in public with the younger generation of young women, it breaks my heart. And I don't blame them because they clearly have not been taught. They're being raised in a different generation. But we can pioneer this, ladies. We can pioneer the shift because history does repeat itself.
Yes.
And we can start the next phase of history by helping this current generation of women be better friends, better sister, better mothers. We can teach them how to be a wife because our generation is lost. So we need more of this. It's not just about mindset to be wealthy. It's mindset to be healthy, to be self-aware, to achieve self-respect, self-confidence. Each one teach one. That's the way it should be.
Amazing, amazing. I love, because I'm over here writing myself. We got to pioneer the shift because bottom line, yes, Tammy says integrity and grace speak volumes. Be the example. Each one teach one. Yes, we have really gotten away from, with the younger generation when you have, what they say, used to say babies having babies. I'm like you growing up. I remember Saturdays when I was with my grandmother and we'd get up and go to town, you would be there all day long, but you didn't go looking any kind of way. You had to be in your best, and they would go handle their business. But it was just an experience. And when you look now at how people just can go out any kind of way, again, it goes back to being their walking billboard, because people would see you one time looking crazy and make that one judgment and won't fool with you ever again. I don't care how much business you do or how well you do it. It's the perception that they can't shake because they saw you first in the wrong manner. Exactly. And that means something.
Powerful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I wanted to talk. I'm going to shift a little bit because, of course, I mentioned earlier that Dr. Pamela she already told you she was an accountant for 28 years. But we're going to switch over into this highly successful trader that she is. And I want to talk because right now, we've shifted a little bit, in terms of, yes. And I think I told you I was looking at something with Dr. Jewel Tanker talking about, it's time to get ready to build your digital empire. But I'm also looking at the current climate with the Ukraine and what's going on with Russia and how the stock market has dropped. The all the different things that are going on. So for somebody who is fearful about getting into the digital empire, who's fearful about crypto or Bitcoin, what would you say to them as they're looking at how things are unfolding as of right today?
I would first tell them to, just with anything else that they want to even be interested in starting to do your research. That's where it starts. Because the facts in the big, just the initial, what is Forex, that statement, learning the foundation and the history of whatever your interest is going to help you with your decision and eliminate your fears. Because there's a huge difference between stocks and Forex and indices and crypto. It really, really is. And, first and foremost, stocks are commodity, is company driven. So if I can give them a quick history right now, I'll tell them stocks are good. Yes, they are. And they do pay well over time. They do. But they're not a Roth IRA either. You have to do your due diligence, and you have to have a broker that you pay, 7 series or 3 series or whatever the case may be, and allow that person to help you identify the companies to know their profit margins so you can make a decision on what to buy. Because with stocks, you buy when it's good, you sell when it's bad, because it's based off of the success or failure of a business. So you're depending on the business to do really, really well in order for you to yield a profit. So when you see news, wars, elections, politics, things like that going on in the news affects stocks all day, every day. So it's really, really volatile to get into there if you don't know anything about it. It is a $22 billion a day industry. And stocks is not something that I really want to put my life savings into. Right? It's totally different from, when you first got an Apple or Microsoft 25 years ago. Right. It's not that kind of party. You got a lot of new startup companies. Technology is taking over right now. So some people are really just deciding to stay on the technology side of it because that is the wave of the future right now. But when it comes to crypto, digital currency, indices, Forex, that's really where you want to put your dollar, especially if you're new, you're a beginner, you're not sure where you want to start. You just know you need to start. And trust me, you need to start now. If you don't know who to start with, I'm going to need somebody to inbox me so I can tell you where to start. Because starting is essential. We hear all these cliches about, you don't know where you can go unless you start. That's for real. It's not the one that doesn't work. It's what if it does and you never got started. Because Forex has been around for over 2,000 years, whereas stock is $22 billion a day. Forex is a 6.7, right? It's $7 trillion a day industry. That's a big gap in a profit because it's not commodity driven. It's not news driven. It's based off of natural resources, gold, silver, oil, and cash currencies. You're just trading two countries' currencies. And at any given time with the foreign exchange market, one country's currency is worth more than the other. So when things happen in the news and the value of that currency in Ukraine is going down, then you just trade the US currency against the Ukraine currency because you're only trading one country currency. It's only two countries' currencies that you're trading at a time. You can get in as a buy or a sell and make a profit when you're trading foreign currency or digital currency. It's just a matter of knowing when to get in and when to get out. That's it.
That's good. That's good. I see a couple people said they will inbox you. Yes, very interested. This is a time, that things we've got to start looking towards the future and how you say things are changing. And what they say, scared money doesn't make money. You've got to be willing to invest. You've got to be willing to, because it is based on risk. But at the same time, when you do your research, you will be able to determine what's worth the risk, and you'll be able to start forecasting and seeing, how things are going to play out, and then you make your moves, like you said, whether you become a buyer or a seller. So it's so many opportunities out here, and I want you all to make sure that you connect with Dr. Pamela Brown, because she is out here making some noise on how she's able to move in these circles, how she's able to help people to leave a legacy. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. When you come here on this earth, you want to be able to leave with every gift used, but you also want to have something that when you leave, people are able to say, I know she's been here. I know that she left a mark. I know that it wasn't just she came in and she did what she did and she was selfish and poof, she's gone. But you want to have a legacy to be left. And that comes with, again, from the beginning, being intentional, being strategic, making sure that what you do all lines up with how you are presenting yourself. So I'm super excited about just having you on the platform, just to share that piece of information, because for some people, again, it's like, because you don't know and it's unfamiliar, you don't want to step into the playing field. But this is a time where I think, as you said, if you don't do anything else, this is where you need to be.
It's not even a want at this point in stage. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you got more people becoming wealthy in a pandemic because they decided to start investing. You don't have to have a whole lot to get started. And if I can just give people something to think about as to why it's so important to start investing, because even if you do want to leave a legacy, most people that have left a legacy made an investment, whether it was in whole life insurance, whether they bought stocks, whether they bought foreign currency, whatever the case may be. Rockefeller got into insurance, but they were able to leave a legacy because they made an investment. And if I can ask all of your guests right now, do you know who your great grandfather is? Like, do you know your great great grandfather by first and last name? And most people will say, no, I don't. And the reason why we don't know our great great grandfather by first and last name is because he didn't leave us anything. I promise you, if your great great grandfather was Rockefeller, you would know him, because he left a legacy that is still paying 100 years later. And an investment starts with you. We talked about pioneering, right? It can start with you. One of the most important investments you will ever make will be in you. And all I know, I have no grandchildren, but my great grandchildren gonna know who Pamela Brown is because of the things that I put in place today. I did it when it was difficult. I did it when it was different. I did it when it was new. I did it when it was uncomfortable. But if I didn't do it, I was going to still be uncomfortable. I was still going to be living from check to Monday, not check to check, from check to Monday. Whatever you're changing, you're choosing. And I just refused to choose to stay where I was, only to complain about where I was. Your willingness to invest in you in the present is a direct indication of what you really believe about your future. We got to get out of our own way. I said the other day, today's actions are tomorrow's results. Start with investing right now. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's difficult. We just got to get out of our own way, because it's too many people that are multiple 6, 7, 8, 9-figure earners that are trading and investing in the crypto space, in the Forex space, in the indices space. Let me give everyone on here a reality check. They're much younger than us. They're 19, 20, 23, 25. And they are out here making 6, 7, 8, 9 figures. Where our generation of Gen X's and baby boomers are saying, "Oh, I can grasp all that. That's I got to learn something all over again." The choice is yours. You can learn something new to be better, or you can keep what you know and stay where you are. That's just
that's
what it is. If we don't know, we don't grow. And I got into this space by being nosy. No one came to me and said, "Ma'am, let me tell you what I'm doing." I was in a salon one day and overheard a conversation. And I put my pride and my ego to the side. And I asked a young lady, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I need that in my life. Can you explain it? And I'm where I am right now because I just asked the question. And a lot of people don't get to where they want to be because they won't open their mouth. They say closed mouth, fed, right?
Right.
We'll get fed some of this knowledge on how to get to another level because we all deserve to be at that level and beyond. And trust me, God trusts you with that level. You're not at that level, not because God doesn't trust you. You're not at that level because you don't trust you.
Come on, listen, that right there, look, stepped on some toes because you don't trust you. Woo. Listen, you said what you're not changing, you're choosing. Today's actions are tomorrow's results. Tammy said, we have not because we ask not. Wanda said her great great grandfather's Eddie Franklin. He left them some land in Mississippi that the family lost. Oh, but the family lost it. But at least she know that he left it.
No, but that proved the point. You don't know your ancestors unless they left you something. Anybody that leave you something, you will never forget them.
That's powerful. And it's a mindset shift for you to start thinking of, because you got to start somewhere. And it doesn't matter that, you've wasted a lot of time or that you wasn't thinking in this manner before, because today you know. And so what's the word? If you know better, it's time to what? Do better.
That's true. But the reality, we talked about common sense, is not always so common. We might say if we know better, we do better. But a lot of us know a lot of things better and we don't do better. We know we don't supposed to be eating them pork ribs when we talked about we was going to be on a diet. So just because we know better, don't mean we do better.
That's true.
That's why you need to be surrounded by great influence. That's why you need to have an accountability partner. That's why you need to have yourself to where, at least if you don't have one, have your subconscious speak into your conscience on a daily basis to keep you accountable. Because we know better. We do. We see too many people out here successful. We even have an idea of what they're doing to achieve their success. But we got too much pride and ego to ask. But your pride and your ego, your bank account is a big reflection of your pride and your ego. And that's not a good look, because we'll be the first to be skeptical. You can't be skeptical and broke.
Good. That's good. I'm telling you, listen, if anybody has any questions for Dr. Pamela, please put them in the chat. But that's just such a great way. And what I love about even really getting information, somebody put the laughing face. Yeah, you can't be skeptical and broke. You got to be able to do something. But it's just a good information, the practicalness of what you're saying, that people sometimes try to do so much. But somebody said they already sent you a DM about Forex. All right, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. Make that move, ask them questions, get connected, because the beauty of having someone of the caliber of Dr. Pamela Brown on this platform is for us to be able to start making moves. If you're not where you want to be, you don't have to stay there. You can move past that. You've got a source. So tap into it. And sometimes God, it's like the man who says, save me out on the water. He's like, I need somebody to help me, SOS. But you got everybody coming through. They're talking about, hey, what you need? You talking about, I'm waiting on something. I'm waiting on somebody to come save me. They're like, oh, okay, well, we ain't gonna beg you to get over here in the boat with us. If you want to stay out here and let the sharks circle around until you get tired and mouth swollen and dry, then that's on you. But if you got somebody who's willing to help you, who's willing to give you the chess moves, not the checkers.
Come on.
That's what you need to do, is start
Man.
making those moves and get connected. I know you just set on up on me now. Look, what you say? I feel my strength coming.
Teach a man to fish. Oh, listen, I love when we get spiritual with this, because as you're speaking, I tell my mentees and my mentors, we have discussions all the time, about this space of favor in alignment, and piggyback on what you're just saying about just connecting yourself with the right people. And I talk about this, the Peter syndrome. Those of us that are grounded in the word, we know the story of Peter. Peter was a fisherman. And Jesus asked to use his boat. Now, Peter was like, okay, now we done already been out the night before and we didn't catch anything. But because it's you, we're going to use this boat and we're going to go out and we're going to do some fishing. And he told him to cast out his net. The Peter syndrome starts right there. It starts with obedience, even when you're not sure, even when you think you know everything. But because somebody that you trust gave you some instructions and you were obedient, you have no clue what favor you're about to experience, right? So he was obedient. He cast out his net and he caught more fish than he has ever caught before. But here's the Peter syndrome, and I need y'all to catch this, because this is direct in alignment with what Dr. Lewis just got through saying by being connected to the right people. See, favor comes when you are connected to the right people, because you can inadvertently and without effort and organically be blessed by receiving overflow of favor from somebody in your circle. See, because when Peter caught more fish than he could handle, his boat began to sink. And he had to say, hey, come in for a minute. Y'all come on over here, because I need another boat to get some of this fish. Bring your boat over here next to my boat and get some of this fish, because I got more than I can handle. Here's this. Jesus didn't ask the other person to borrow his boat. He asked Peter. But because this person was in the vicinity of Peter, close enough to hear him say, come here. I need to use your boat to catch some of this fish, to the point to where even their boat began to sink. They had so much overflow. Connect yourself with the right people so you can catch some of that Peter syndrome, to where the overflow of where God has graced Dr. Lewis with so much overflow that her cup is runneth over. But because you're in the vicinity, you're attached to Dr. Lewis, you're in her circle somehow, some way, you're blessed by her because she got more favor than she can handle. It doesn't mean you have to have the talent that Dr. Lewis had. You don't have to have the skill set that Dr. Lewis had, but you're in her circle. You're close enough to her that you can just catch some of her overflow, and it blesses your life abundantly. And what that does, it teaches you how to also be given as well. And we just started a whole circle of generosity that can continue on for generations to come. And we're breaking curses without even trying, because we're connected to the right people. Now that's the Peter syndrome.
Listen, if y'all didn't catch it, you better go back and look at this tonight, in the morning, for the rest of the weekend, until it's in your spirit. Because again, what they say, you judge them by their fruit, but it's the proximity, it's the closeness, it's the putting yourself in the way to be able to get it, to be able to catch that overflow. That's just powerful. Somebody said, shut up, you all in their business. Stepped on their toes, girl. Yes, I love it. Blessed by the overflow.
That's right.
You hear things sometimes, people hear Bible stories all the time and they don't catch it. Sometimes, the pastor said, you might not get it now, but you'll catch it on the way home.
Yep.
Some of y'all might not catch it right now, but you're going to catch that right there because we're going to put it in the atmosphere again so that you can go back and hear it. That's the beauty of a replay. Go back and listen again so you can catch it and then start paying attention to who you're around and what they got going on and how you can get into the overflow, how you can be right there. Because what did you say yesterday? If God blessing somebody else, my neighbor.
Don't envy anyone that is being blessed by God, because God, if God is blessing my neighbor, he's still in the neighborhood. Stay close.
Stay close. Woo! Stay close because he's still in the neighborhood. Listen, don't
If
miss
you
that.
open up and see them being blessed, you in right proximity. Stay right there. Your
Stay
turn.
right there. Stay right there. Because you know what? We stay around and look. I was telling somebody earlier today, we always want to get caught up in the wrong stuff. You know how they say when somebody got an accident, you rubberneck and trying to see what's going on. Somebody have a fight, you trying to run to see, let me see what they doing. I ain't trying to stop the fight. I just want to see what's going on. Have that same energy when it comes to understanding that blessings and favor can be yours too when you know that God is still in the neighborhood.
Still in the neighborhood. He is. Some of us
Tammy
just
said, yes, come by here.
waiting on it. You can't. You're sitting still and you're waiting on it, and it's okay to sit still, but you also got to be making action moves, but still staying in the vicinity of the of clear view of all the blessings that's flowing. But you still got to be in your field working while you close to the field that is being blessed. Because see, people, we pray all the time, but you can't pray and not do. Because God don't bless what you say. He bless what you do. He can rain all day long on your field, but if you ain't planted no seeds and you're not tending to your field, you're not going to reap a harvest. The only way to even know how to properly plant those seeds is to look over and see how the field over there that's being successful, that's being blessed, see what they're doing and ask, stay in proximity of the blessings and get the lessons. You get the lessons. It's not so hard. We don't have to learn everything the hard way, people. Just ask people that already have went through the tough times, the hard lessons. It's sometimes, as a parent, we don't want our children to make the same mistakes we made. So we try to tell them or guide them away from the mistakes that we made. But they still got to go see for themselves. And we still sometimes have to show tough love. That's what God does. And I think a lot of us, we feel like God is not listening to us. Forgot about us. We are his children. Could you imagine your mother and your father forgetting about you? Not listening to you when their whole thing is to want what's best for you. And anytime you stray away, you want to do it on your own, that parent let you go and figure it out. But you'll be back. And sometimes God let us go out there and figure it out on our own and make those tough lessons. But when you surround yourself with the right people that's already learned those lessons, when you listen, it doesn't have to be so hard for you going forward. It's not always the easy way that people say, oh, it's quick, I'm gonna get it done. That's not the right way. Les Brown say, if you take the easy route, life will be hard. If you take the hard route, life will be easy. The hard route is getting out of our own way, putting our pride and our ego to the side, and following proper guidance. And a lot of people just don't want to accept it. They just don't, especially if it requires work. Faith without work is dead. It's a reason why they say that. You got to work. When people be like, stop, let me holler at you for a minute. No, you got to walk with me. I can't be still. I'm not going to stop and meet you where you are and you hinder me from going where I'm trying to go. That's them boundaries right there. That's my standard. You want to walk, if you want to talk to me, you got to be moving with me. But I'm not going to stop and be still with you. to hear what you got to say, and I'm already in motion. And you can apply that to any metaphor you want, because I'm not speaking that literally. That is life. Don't stop your plan, your future, i.e. women, relationships, is one of the biggest things that slow us down and distract us from achieving our goals. And you can have both. Don't get distracted. Don't let it shut you down. You got to be able to identify where you're not equally yoked. And that's not just with marriage. That's with friendships. That's with partnerships. That's with relationships. If you're not equally yoked, the person that you have ties with could hinder your blessings. Be careful.
Listen, that's the way to end the broadcast. Be careful of who you connected to, who you trying to get with, because it might not, what they say, that ain't what you want.
No,
it might not be what you want.
I
Yes. Blessing blockers. They say blessing blockers.
Our prayers right away is for our protection.
Yes.
We have to be able to identify that. And a lot of people, if it's not in God's plan, then he'll protect you from that. And I've gotten to learn to not let my past, keep me from moving forward.
Yes.
And, just because I prayed for it, evidently God saw better. He know better. And we just got to trust God. The way I would close this, if I can give anyone any words of wisdom, if you're trying to really get to a level that you've never been before, you're going to have to get ready to get used to being a person you've never been before. Because the old you can't go to the new you. Don't let your past talk to your present about your future.
Whew. Don't let your past talk to your present about your future. That's powerful. Dr. Pamela Brown, please let the people know how they can connect with you.
Instagram, powerhouse.pam. Facebook, my name, Pamela Brown. You can go to either one of my websites. My accounting firm website is the phpfirm.com. It's the THEPHP firm, FIRM.com. That's my accounting firm. For my beauty spa, skincare products, you want to reach me on there. Is phpbeautyspa.com. So I have many platforms, but you can always reach me on one of those.
Amen. Yes, Tandra said it's time for something new. Absolutely. This right here is one of the messages that you should not listen to and still stay the same. You should be making some changes. You should be doing something. You either need to be paying attention, look, walking with somebody who's moving so that you can be in the vicinity of the blessing. You need to be a pioneer. You need to make changes and get on with technology and get into that digital empire space. You need to change your mindset. You need to change so that you can, what you're not changing, you're choosing. So you got to set some boundaries and make sure that you're choosing something that's going to be in alignment with what God already told you. Dr. Brown has dropped so much, y'all. You listen, you ought to have a whole 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 pages at this point full of good information because she has given it to you. Yes. Thank you again so much for sharing your time, sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge, just sharing a breath of fresh air for people for such a time as this. And I was going to say, when you were talking about people doing, it made me think of Ruth. When she was out looking for Boaz, baby, she was out there gleaning. She wasn't just sitting around here waiting, baby. She was out there working.
And them fields. Come on with that story, baby. Love it.
Yes, honey. Ruth was like, baby, I might be forgetting Boaz, but just in case, let me let him say, I want him to understand what he's getting. I'm out here gleaning, baby. I'm not here doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah, she went from working the fields to owning the fields. Come on, Ruth.
Come on, Ruth.
Working. And he noticed her. He didn't notice her sitting still. He noticed her working.
That's a lesson for somebody. Listen, y'all done got two good ones. Y'all done got the Peter syndrome, and then y'all done heard about Ruth. Y'all better come on and get in that Bible, get in that word, and figure that thing out.
That word is going to take you there, because you can apply what you're going through right now in life to anything in the Bible, and it will make sense to you. And I've learned a way to bring the two together so that I can connect my audience with this, with just bringing them closer to God. Mm-hmm. He wants to give us the desires of our heart, but he's not just going to give it to you. You can't just inherit it, and he don't know that he can trust you with what you're going to do with it. And we got to be diligent with our purpose in life. And you start by becoming a better you, changing your mindset, how you carry yourself so that you can attract the people. Because please believe me, wealthy people hang around wealthy people. Right. You know, birds and feathers flock together, right? But here's the one that, you know, Les Brown would say, and he's not the only one to say it. You can tell a whole lot about a person by the people they spend the most time with.
Yes.
So if you're around 9 broke people, you number 10. If you're not broke now, you will be. So you got to surround yourself with people that have what you want. And it's not about being envious. It's just about being in the circle so you can grab some of that Peter syndrome and change everything about your life. Because believe it or not, most wealthy people that are open to encouraging and sharing how they got to where they are some of the most generous people you will ever meet. Trust me. They need tax breaks. They love donating and giving away plenty of things so they can write it off. Whether it be, you know, donating something to your nonprofit organization. So if you're on here, you want to start a business, you want to start a nonprofit organization, start changing how you carry yourself on a daily basis so that you can attract the people that would grow the respect to trust you with helping you fulfill your dream. We look for people to encourage, to assist, to help. Because see, that's how I'm blessed. See, you can't take me to this word because I'm gonna stay in the word. You know, when God gave those talents, He gave 1, He gave 3. Right. Come on. So I'm not gonna hide no one talent. He gave me multiple talents. And I am going to be giving back because I want to hear well done. I want to make sure I can give him back 10 times what he gave me. I'm not going to hold on to that one talent. So that's another reason why I do this and don't ask for $1. This is part of my giving back to help anybody in any way I can.
Oh, honey, blessed to be a blessing. I'm telling y'all, you better go back and listen to this again. This right here was so rich. You know how sometimes you get something so good and so rich and everything. You want to go in and really eat it all up, but sometimes you got to sit back and savor that. You got to let it marinate and get all that spice. You be like, oh, wait a minute, what was that? And you can kind of start feeling like, oh, I can tell what that was. Oh, they put a little seasoning up in there. They did a little something extra with that. Oh. This is something that you need to sit with. You can't be on here just chewing and swallowing, baby. You got to come on in here and put a little time with this thing and let it, marinate in your mouth a little bit and kind of get it where it get all down up in your spirit. Who said, thank you for assuring me I'm on the right track, Sister Queen. This was refreshing and great to hear. And your hands must be open to give and receive. Amen. Somebody said, that's the one right there, honey. Yes. You better get with Dr. Pamela Brown. I'm telling y'all, connection is everything. Tammy said, thanks so much for pouring into us. Listen, I want to shout out Tammy Thomas because had she not had the vision to have a vision board party earlier in February, I would not have had the opportunity to connect with Dr. Pamela Brown. And the things that she has said, I'm telling you, has really enabled me to want to say that I want to get it for myself, but I want to get it even more for the people who I'm connected to. Because again, if we moving together, we want to move like I want to move just like that. You want to be able to move with somebody. What she say, get you somebody, line it up, and follow somebody with where you want to go. And this is fertile ground. This is good soil. So you got to understand, honey, that's where you planted it in some good soil. Not where it's going to be down and the birds swoop on down and take it and run on with it somewhere else. You want to go and plant it with somewhere good.
Thank you
Y'all better
so
get on that Bible study with Dr. Pamela Brown. Look, that's what we need to be trying to get her to do. Look, can we just get a weekly Bible study?
Listen,
Hey,
I'm helping myself, so I have to pour back, and that's where the blessings start. When I pray that God use me to help others. So if I can help anyone right now, I would ask, if you want more in your life, if you want overflow in your life, don't pray for you. Pray that God blesses you to where you can help someone else. Because when you pray to be in the position to help someone else, that means God has to give you overflow. He has to give you more than enough so that you can help and be in a position to help someone else. And I prayed that prayer because I got tired of being the person that when somebody or in my family or friend called me, they lost a loved one. I wanted to be in a position to where I can offer them more than my prayers. And if you really want to help somebody, it's going to take some money. It's going to take finances. Prayers are good, but the funeral home don't want prayers. The doctor's office, they don't want the prayers. The pharmacy don't want prayers. The homeless man, they don't want just the prayers. Let me just say that. They want them, but that's not the only thing they want.
Right.
The woman that's trying to find an escape out of a bad relationship, she wants more than prayers. So I can pray with her, but she needs shelter. She needs a place to go. She may be going with nothing on her back. She needs clothes. Position yourself and pray that God overflow your life. Enlarge my territory.
Come on, Jabez.
Right? Because if your territory is enlarged, that means it's bigger than you. And you got enough room for somebody else. Watch how good it be to your life.
Oh, that should have put chills up your spine, honey. Watch how good he will be to your life. Listen, y'all know I have Dr. Brown on here to midnight. Listen, we'll still be talking, honey, getting all this stuff. Listen, I had to start with Eve and work our way all the way down. So,
don't get me started on Eve.
I know we gonna get started. Listen,
I just want to. I'm like, Sarah, I want to get together and be like, girl, was the apple that good? Was the fruit that good that you had to do all of us like this? Come on.
Listen. I ain't found none that good. I ain't found it yet. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of fruit was that. I have not bit into anything. I ain't bit into nothing that good.
Nothing.
Listen, y'all, this has been so rich and amazing. I thank you so much for tuning in. I pray that, and I already know that you've been blessed. Share the broadcast out, because this is the thing, don't do it just for you. She was telling me, yeah, she's missed for all of us. Absolutely, honey. They messed it up for everybody. But share the broadcast out. It's somebody who needs to hear this. You got people in your family, you got people in your circle, you got people at your job, you got people that are positioning themselves for better and greater. Share this out, because this is a seed you're planting for them to get connected with Dr. Brown so that they can go to that next level. So she can tell them some things that's going to help them, on their pathway. Because she already said she's blessed to be a blessing, and she asked God to allow her to help. So don't be, ask God how you need to show up, so that when you get there, she's already going to know what to do with you. It's just that simple. Yes, y'all see she's shaking her shoulder. That means come on and bring it. Come on and get with it.
I love that.
Yes, ask God how to help you show up the right way so that what she gives you, because she'll already recognize it. Because she'll already know, because he would already have prepared her and let her know you're on your way to get whatever it is that you need. Because I think we said, I'm going to say one more thing and then we're going to get out of here. We talked about, because she said, being a jack of all trade, but being a master of them as well. The hats that she wears, whether it is in being an accountant, a beauty expert, whether it is in dealing in the foreign exchange market, whether it was being a single mom, all these different things, people come to her and you get from her what you need based on where you are and how she can give that to you. What you see out of her life and how she's an example, you will see it and you can tap into it. So it's something for you, whatever it is that she has experienced in her life. She's went through it for, as they say, Esther, such a time as this. This is the time. Trust and believe what she's been through has positioned her to be great for a whole lot of people. And you got to be able to understand and recognize it, but go to God first. And then when you reach out to her, it's going to all be in alignment.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you so much. I'm speechless because what you don't realize, you just said a prayer for me and that person to put us both in perspective to where when they come to this space, they're already not taking it for granted to be in that space. They're respectful of that time. And you're also prayed for me so that God can give me what I need to help them when they do come into that space. And I just received that. You spoke life in me in them. Like whatever it is that they're seeking, it's already done. It's already done. Especially when I say my prayer and now you just said another prayer. The word says where two or more come together and ask in my name.
Yes. Y'all better catch this. Look, catch that anointing. I'm telling you, you got to recognize where it's at, You better recognize where it's at. I'm telling you, y'all know David and Saul, you better go back and read the story because, honey, you got to know where the anointing is at. And listen, it's right here. Look, connect with them, y'all. Connect with them. Dr. Pamela Brown. Yes. Listen, don't you go anywhere, Dr. Brown. I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast. Everybody, Thank you so much for being a part of the iShine podcast. This right here has been beyond amazing to me. I want y'all to share it out because it's people who need to hear it. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy your night.
Good night, everybody.